Good morning everybody, and once again welcome back to the channel. In this particular video we are gonna have some mock static data for tenants, right? Tenant 1, tenant 2, tenant 3 and so on, and we'll learn how to ingest that data using of course Apache Spark into Iceberg table. We'll have one Iceberg table which is partitioned by tenant ID. In my last video we made separate tables for each particular tenant, right? Now in this video we'll make basically do one table partitioned by the tenant ID. Then we'll learn how to basically expose each partition as a view to the external audience, right? For this, we're gonna be leveraging Apache Iceberg view, and I'll basically read a couple of paragraph what that is. So let's get started. This is a hands-on lab, by the way. So let's go over a quick definition. Most of the computer engines like Trino, Apache Spark supports view. A view is a logical table that can be referenced by future queries. Views do not contain any data. Instead, the query stored by the view is executed every time the view is referenced by another query. Each compute engine stores the metadata of a view in its proprietary format in the metastore of their choice. Thus, views created from one engine, this is the main part, okay, so I'm going to highlight this. Views created from one engine cannot be read or altered easily from another engine, even when engines share the metastore as well as the storage system. So the goal is to, again, as you can see on the official website here for the Apache Iceberg view spec, is a common metadata format for view metadata, similar to how Iceberg supports common table formats for tables. So what we will do in this particular lab is, see here, this is what we're gonna do. Have some data in min.io, we'll use Spark, ingest the data into one Iceberg table, partitioned by tenant, and then we're gonna have views created for each particular partition. So each partition will expose as a view, right? So that's what we're gonna be doing in this particular video. So let's get started. All right, so the step one is we're gonna spin up the infrastructure, and I have a Docker Compose file through which you can do that. We are gonna spin up the Spark container, right? We're gonna spin up Iceberg REST catalog, and then for the object store, we're gonna be using min.io. So let's rock and roll, right? So tree, here you can see I have my Docker Compose. So I'm gonna say Docker Compose up -- build -t. This will start all the containers running on my computer. As you can see, all the containers are now running. All right, so once you have spin up the stack, now we are going to exec into the container, and all these steps are given on the blog as well, right? So I've done a good job on documenting everything, right? So let's use Docker desktop, and I exec into the Spark container. So I'm gonna click on exec, and the first thing I'll do is basically I'll install these library. I need a PyArrow, S3FS and Moto3. So let's get that rolling. So let me copy the command, go here, paste this one here. So this is gonna install all the dependencies. Once this is done, I'm gonna resume the video. All right, so all the dependencies have been installed, and now let's proceed to the next step. We are gonna cd into the particular directory. Here I'm gonna do that, cd home iceberg /scripts. And if I do an ls, you will see 3 scripts over here, okay? So now what we'll do is we're gonna generate some data files. So I'm gonna run the Python file. So Python 3 generate data files. It generated some Parquet files for me. Now let's head over to min.io, which should be probably running on port 9000. And if I go here and put admin and password as a username and password, right? If I go to warehouse data, and here you can see multiple tenants and the Parquet files. So make sure you verify this particular step, right? So now the next part, once you have some data here, now let's ingest this data into Iceberg. Now that's the part where I'll spend some little time on the explanation. All right, so I'll go to the script part, and here you will see process tenants.py. Let me collapse everything. Let me zoom out for here, okay? And I'll basically explain what's happening. So yeah, so first we create a manifest file. So when the code runs, right? So it creates a .pending file. Inside the .pending file, you have multiple S3 URIs. Then the Spark job will read that all those files as a Spark data frame. It creates the Iceberg table, does the merge into, and then basically archives the process file. That's the flow. So here we create the manifest file, as you can see. If the manifest file is none, we say, hey, no files to process. If you have files to process, here you can see we create the table. Here you can see a simple Iceberg table, and here we have partitioned that by tenant, right? So just wanted to show you that. After that, we once we create the Iceberg table, we do the merge into command. So let me probably go to that particular step. Give me one sec. So yeah, once we create the Iceberg table, we read the data, and here you can see we do the merge command here, as you can see here. So again, very simple, right? And basically, if it's a match, right? If it's a match, we update. If it's not a match, we insert, right? As simple as that. So let's head back to the main function, and then once we do the merge, we archive the files that we have already processed, right? So simple as that. Now let's probably run this, right? So in the same directory, you will have a code called ingest.data.py. Let's try to run that. So I'm gonna go here, clear the terminal. Again, I'm inside that Spark container, okay? So I'm gonna, oops, can't open the file home. Oh yeah, I think I'm already in the directory, so that's why. So Python 3, and let's say process tenant.py. And if I head over to min.io at this point quickly, just wanna show you, here I have my data files. Once the Spark job starts, again, right now it is downloading all the dependencies from Maven, right? So it is downloading that. But once the code starts, the Spark job starts, here we can see which it did start. You will see a pending file. Here you can see that pending file, which has multiple S3 URIs, which I was talking about. Once it does the merge into, then it would archive these data files, right? Oh, it's already done. It was pretty fast though. Yeah, here you can see the archive folder, right? All the data is archived. Now here you can see your Iceberg table, multi-tenant, right? Data, metadata. Inside data, you have your partition. Each partition is your tenant, right? Of course, you can create separate table for each particular tenant as well. I have a video and blog for that. So just, adding that as a note. So here you can see those Parquet files here, right? Now let's basically learn how we can create views. So for each partition, I want to create a view and expose them, right? Basically Iceberg views, right? So let's go here. In the same one, you will have now create views.py. Let's go over the code shortly. So the first part is simple. We create a Spark session that's just generic, right? So now here, select distinct partition.tenant as tenant value. So basically we grab all the partitions, right? And then for each partitions, here you can see, we basically, as you can see, right, we create a view, create or replace view, the view name will start from view underscore and whatever partition or the tenant we are creating the view for, right? And then a select star where tenant ID is or where tenant is equal to that value. So each partition would be exposed as a view. So just going over the diagram quickly, if I had to scroll up here. So here each partition is exposed as a separate view, right? So that's about it, right? So now let's run this, right? So now again, I'm gonna go to my Spark container, and then I have a file called create_views.py, Python 3. If I run this, start the Spark job, and I don't have, so again, the Iceberg, according to the Iceberg view spec, right? So now once these views are created, so if I go back to my warehouse, here you can see your views, right? And then for each view, I see a metadata, right? So basically just wanted to point out that, right? So now when you're creating view, it has a metadata, and according to the Iceberg spec, where is that? Here. So thus the views created from one engine. So the problem with the originally the views was views created by one engine cannot be read or altered easily from another engine, or even when engines share the metastore. So that now could be possible with this, right? So I hope you have enjoyed the video. I hope you learned something out of this small lab. The best way to learn anything is to try these out. The entire source code, the step-by-step instruction is there on my Medium blog. So kindly go ahead and check it out. And if you have any questions, let me know your question in the comment section below, and I'll be very happy to assist you. Until then, keep smiling, keep programming, and I'll see you in the next video.